First round begins on Friday, ladies and gentlemen, December 20th, 8 p.m. ABC, ESPN, as the 10th seed Indiana Hoosiers, led by Coach of the Year Kurt Cinetti, who took an Indiana team that was down in the dumps of the Big Ten, and he came over there with a lot of his JMU players. That would be James Madison. Came over, and they have put this program in a position that it never thought it would be in this quickly. In the playoffs, 11-1 on the season. The one loss coming to the Ohio State at the Horseshoe in a top 5 matchup. They're the 10 seed. They are in South Bend for a Indiana showdown with number 7, the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. Notre Dame has been a team that cannot be reckoned with ever since the loss to Northern Illinois in week 2. They have ripped off 10 straight wins, none of which has been particularly close. That last game they played was back on November 30th, Thanksgiving week. But the USC chosen in that rivalry game for the Georgia lady was good for the first 3 quarters. And then in the fourth quarter, Notre Dame took over to win 49-35. They took on an undefeated Army team at one point in time, and they beat them 49-14. They took on an undefeated Navy team at one point in time, beat them 51-14. Notre Dame has been on one, but so has Indiana. Those who just, this the battle for Indiana. It's the battle to get to the quarterfinals of the college football playoffs. Now, what you have here, you have one team that likes to score points. I mean, after Indiana lost to Ohio State, and that was 38-15. That next game, that was the other in-state rivalry with the Purdue Boilermakers, and they just beat them down 66-0. And outside of the Ohio State game, they had scored 20 points or more in every game. And outside of the Michigan game, when they won 20-15, outside of that, they have put up 30. And that's about in every game. Yeah, I mean 30. Florida International 31-7. Western Illinois 77. They went to UCLA and put up 42. Hosted Charlotte 52. Maryland 42. Northwestern 41. Nebraska 56. Washington 31. Michigan State 47. These dudes put up points. There's no way around it. They put up points. They can score. But here's the thing. They have a quarterback in Curtis Rook, who is over 2,800 yards passing. That is 2,827 yards passing, with 27 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. On the other side, Ryan Leonard, the quarterback for Notre Dame, just over 2,000 yards passing, closing in on 2,100 yards passing, with 16 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. As you can tell, Notre Dame doesn't really do passing like that. They are a running team, though, because Mr. Love, the running back for Notre Dame, has 15 rushing touchdowns on the season. And he's closing in on a 1,000-yard season. But Indiana can run the ball, too. Mr. Ellis has 800 yards rushing with 10 rushing touchdowns. This is going to come down to some defenses. Now, shout out to Kurt Cinetti, Coach of the Year. Very deservedly so, because nobody's seen this turnaround in Indiana in year 1 under you. And you have done a hell of a job, sir. Okay, got to give you credit. Speaking of coaching, Marcus Freeman is expected to get a long-term contract extension from Notre Dame. Didn't see that coming either. But I'm thinking with the fact that he got them into the playoffs in year 1 of the new 12-team playoffs, that they are feeling like we can hold on to Marcus Freeman for a little while longer to see how this goes and how does he involve and move forward after this experience, whenever this experience ends for Notre Dame. It's going to be 27 degrees as expected at kickoff time. 27 degrees. It's going to be cold. It's going to be cold. And we're talking this prime time too, 8 p.m. in at Indiana. 27 degrees. Ooh, it's going to be cold. They ain't say nothing about snow. It could snow. You never know. But it's going to be cold. I want to see how this goes. Because the only time Kurt Cinetti seen a team like Notre Dame was Ohio State. Didn't go somewhere. You lost by 23. That was at Ohio State, by the way. Now you're going to South Bend in a rivalry game that has not been played in quite some time. And people that lives in Indiana, they are happy to see this game renewed and it for a bigger price this time. So which defense is my question? Which defense wants to show up in South Bend? Because somebody gonna have to make a stop to give their team the opportunity to win the game. I can see both officers handling business, but what defense? Because I have seen Notre Dame's defense. Notre Dame can play some defense. They can be had, but they can play some defense too. Before I continue on, I already talked about the battle for Indiana. I'm going to give you your opportunity to talk about the battle of Indiana.
All right. Well, congratulations to Hoosiers. This is the first time in memory for me that they decided to play as high in standard as their basketball counterparts back in the 1980s. I don't think I've ever witnessed an Indiana University football program achieve top 10 status. So congratulations to that. To only stub their toe in the Big Ten against Ohio State, I give you mad credit for that. Now, Notre Dame, October and November, they played wonderfully. They played in the way they should have played all year long. And they were predicted to actually play like this all year long. My issue with them is they decided to take Northern Illinois lightly. And I still stand by what I said. Because they lost to Northern Illinois, Notre Dame should not have been ranked any higher than 10. That should have been their tax they paid for losing to a team like Northern Illinois in South Bend. However, the let me see if I could put it in a nice way. The college football playoff committee, they possess no those stones, no balls, and they decided to rank them higher because they had a stellar rest of the 2024 season. I mean, they skunked USC, they skunked Purdue, they beat down Army like they stole something in New York. They had stellar play the rest of the season, and they were wowed by that. Mr. Freeman, I'm still looking at you in your program. You failed because you should have run the table. You were favored in every single game this year, including the one you lost. You should have run the table, my friend. Should have run the table.
All right. The winner of that game will see Georgia in the Sugar Bowl.
Oh, well, they better get their jollies in now because
The slides a little later. I messed up the slides, but yeah, the winner of that
yeah,
game will be seeing
yeah,
Georgia in the Sugar Bowl down in New Orleans.
yeah. They better get the jollies in now because when whoever wins this game, they play against Georgia. They're going to be in for a physical battle. Them boys do not play.
All
Them
right.
boys do not play.
Moving on. As you see here, there's the slide right there. Indiana, Notre Dame winning face Georgia. That would be on New Year's Day, 8:45. That would be the nightcap on New Year's Day. That's the nightcap
Mhm.
down in New Orleans. So the way to bring in your 2025 after the first day, Notre Dame or Indiana versus Georgia.